Hi there, Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and I am excited to go live here today to talk about some things that I personally need reminders of today, and I thought you might as well. And so just say hi if you're tuning in live. I'm going to make sure that this is working. Um, all right, so let's talk about the top hidden cause of clutter. So we talk about decluttering a lot, getting rid of stuff that we don't love, use, need, right? But one of the things that gets overlooked a lot when we are thinking about living in a clutter-free environment is we don't think as much about what we're bringing in. So even if you're constantly decluttering, getting rid of things that you don't like, if you're constantly getting a steady stream of new things in that are becoming clutter, then we don't have like you're just treading water. And this can be really, really sneaky, okay? And I'm not just gonna leave you with this, okay? We're gonna talk about specifically how you can work on this. Because it's one thing to say, well, just, be careful, don't bring in more clutter. But like, obviously, we all have to buy things, right? Like, you gotta buy food, you gotta buy consumables. For example, my children, oh my goodness, they grew so much in the last year. Like, seriously, they have never grown so much in like a few months. And so all of last year's summer clothes did not fit, like really truly did not fit them. So yeah, they need some new clothes. Sometimes something's gonna break, or you might just want something that you would enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. But how do we know that it's not clutter, and how do we make better decisions? And I'm also talking about this today. I think it's very fitting. So you can watch this anytime, but today is the second day of Amazon Prime Day deals, or their special sale. And so everywhere I look online, I'm seeing people talk about this amazing thing or that amazing thing or this thing that's a great deal. And as a deal shopper myself, it is easy to kind of get like caught up in the frenzy and want to buy all these things. And I'm going to talk specifically about that in a little bit, and kind of what I'm doing, what I'm buying, and how I'm dealing with that. But I thought it would just be a fitting time. And I'll also talk about the items that I personally love on Amazon. But all right, so let's think about bringing those things in. The first thing I want to mention is go ahead and celebrate what you don't bring in. So like in our Declutter University, in our different, decluttering things, we always talk about like celebrating your progress. And we have a lot of different trackers where you can write down the item you've decluttered and really celebrate that. But it is not wrong to also write down something you chose not to buy. I use an example of one time I was at the store and I saw this like adorable dish drying mat, and it was only like $5. And it was super cute. And I actually do dry my dishes. Like I hate drying them with a towel because I feel like it doesn't get them dry enough. So reasonably, I could use this item. But the problem is I currently use just a kitchen towel and it works perfectly fine. And even though this was like a cooler dish drying mat, I didn't really need it. And I would tell you that like I would have brought it home. I would have used it for like a month, but then I would have needed to wash it, and then it wouldn't have a good place to be stored, and then I would end up donating it. So I just avoided it. Okay, that is something I could write down in my tracker as something I didn't buy. So go ahead and write those things down and celebrate those things. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing, let's talk about when you're choosing what to buy, and why is it that we feel like buying these things that might end up becoming clutter in the future? Like, what drives us to do that? How can we sort out what is either a true need or a true want that would be useful, that isn't going to quickly become clutter? I also want to say it is not bad just because I get rid of something that I bought a few months, year, 2, 3 ago, and it's clutter today, doesn't mean it was bad that I bought it then. Like, you can buy things that only have a use for a short time, but still be happy with that. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, classic example is the littler a child is, the shorter time they might use something. Like maybe they used their, I don't know, a certain baby carrier, but then they're too old and they don't use it. Or like clothing when they're growing. Like there's all sorts of things that are still okay to have, or it's okay to like buy a craft, try it out and decide you don't like it, or be into one for 3 months and then move on. So it's not necessarily bad that it becomes clutter. But all right, so when you're at the store or shopping online and you're thinking of something that catches your eye and you want that item. So my example is I was in the store and I saw this really adorable servingware, like the serving platter There were some plates, there were lots of accessories, and I really wanted that item. It was very reasonably priced. I could actually fit it in my budget. I also could fit it in my kitchen. It's not that I'm like have no extra space. So possibly legitimately it wouldn't have been like a totally unreasonable thing to purchase. But here's what I realized as I looked at that item. What is it that I really wanted? Did I really just want this platter? Like, did I just want to like take it out and stare at it? Not really. I wanted what the platter represented. When I saw that platter, I imagined myself hosting these like lovely dinner parties or just having a bunch of people over. Or same when I see any kind of s'mores kit, like really cute s'moresy stuff. I love s'mores. I just picture people gathered around a campfire and like enjoying making these s'mores together. I have fond memories of that. So what I really wanted wasn't the thing. It was community. It was sitting down and eating together. That's what I wanted. And, I realized that in that moment that what I really wanted wasn't the thing. It was the what I could do with the thing, and that's pretty much always the way that it is. But I realized, okay, so I want to have people over more. We used to have people over all the time. And then we kind of got out of the habit for a lot of reasons. And that's what I wanted. So is buying the platter going to help me do that? Okay, I could buy it. Does that mean that I'm going to have a bunch of people over and eat dinner together? No. Because even if I buy the platter, then I still have to plan a time, invite the people over, plan the meal. I still have to do all of those steps. Nothing about buying this platter is going to magically make that happen. Also, do I need to have the platter in order to invite someone over for a meal? Not really. We've had many people over. I didn't have that platter. I have other things. It's not necessary in order to get the thing that I ultimately wanted. So that gave me a lot of clarity. Now, it still wouldn't have been necessarily bad to buy the platter. Like, for example, if I hosted someone 2 nights a week, almost every week, and I was constantly like, oh man, if only I had a bigger platter, if only I had this platter, it would have been fine to buy that. Or if I had a platter to replace it, or if I knew like, hey, I'm really going to use this all the time, that would have been totally fine. But what I really wanted wasn't the thing. And so I was able to pass it up and be like, no, I just need to start having people over. Everything that I have is perfectly fine. That's what I really wanted. And I'll give you another example. Here on Prime Days, I was, looking at people's links on Instagram, and they were showing a game that they love to play, like a group game. Y'all, I love like group games. I grew up playing group games, like things like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Taboo, Categories. Oh man, like there's so many. Balderdash, I don't know if anyone even knows what that is. Beyond Balderdash, that was a favorite of mine. Even board games like Risk, card games, like, all manner. There's so many. I love those kind of games. Like, I don't know, I just love them. And they bring back such good memories. Like, I'm imagining just like everyone just relaxing and having fun together. My family, having a group over and doing that. And so that's what I want. Okay. But when I look at this game that someone's talking about and they're like, oh, my family loves this game. It was reasonably priced. It wasn't very big. I totally could have bought it. But I thought about it and I was like, what am I really wanting? What I really want is time to sit down and play games with my family. Is buying that particular game going to give me any more time to do that? No, it's not. Like, I have to find the time. I have to find people who are willing to do that. Sometimes my family isn't interested in that. So what I really wanted buying that wouldn't make it happen at all. And we have a ton of games, like not tons, but we have quite a few games, a couple of which brand new games. I remember specifically this one game. It's called Wingspan. I think I bought it 2, maybe 3 years ago. I think on Prime Days when people were raving about like what a good deal it was, I bought it. We have never played it because it takes a long time to learn. Like, it's not a super fast and easy game. And my kids, at the time that I bought it, I think even now it would be a little bit of a stretch to get them to play it. Like, with their age, they need to be a little bit older than they are now, especially my younger one. So we need people to play it with. We don't have that. So I'm like, I already have games, that one in particular, but others that we don't play often. So it's not that I need. So realizing that really helped me. So that's just something to think about. Like, what is the underlying thing that I really need? Now, that doesn't apply so much for Consumables are things that are just really, really practical, like a toilet bowl brush, or Band-Aids or something. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think that applies. That's more of like a thing that you actually use and more like need. And so those questions just don't apply quite as well. For consumables, you might ask, how much can I store? How good of a deal is this really? You know, those kinds of things, so you don't like overbuy and end up with Band-Aids. Okay, I use this example because I've done this. Band-Aids that are literally going to last you for 14 years. I literally think I have Band-Aids that are probably 12, 14 years old because back in my couponing days, this was in 2008, 2009 when couponing was a huge thing. You could get amazing deals, but you had to buy the specific item. And the specific item were like these special fingertip Band-Aids. Like they're interesting shape and they're to go on the end of your finger, which, okay, fine if you want those. Although a regular Band-Aid works just fine, but okay, nothing wrong with that. But I had so many and we still have them. Anyway, so those are more the questions that you ask for those like more practical type items. Another just practical tip is if you're feeling really pulled because something is a deal, like, wow, this is a good price. Like if I bought this in 5 days, it would probably be more. Make sure it really is a deal because sometimes the prices are like it's always on sale. So make sure that it truly is. Some things truly are. Like any other time that you bought it, you would have to pay more for it. A lot of the Amazon products like a Kindle, the Echoes, things like that. And there are many things that really are, but there are a few things that really aren't, or they're only like 10% off. So not necessarily going to be, a total game changer that you saved $2 on this $20 item. Although if you needed it, may as well save the $2. So that's something else to think about. And just make sure, as you shop that you're getting things that you needed anyway. So either something that you broke and you need to replace it, or something that you've been thinking, I really need to upgrade this. So an example for me of times when I'm tempted to upgrade when I don't need to is vacuum cleaners and floor care. Mopping things and all the technology in that arena is advancing quickly. And so I find myself always drawn when somebody's like, this is the best vacuum cleaner ever. And I'm like, oh, should I get this vacuum cleaner? But I have a vacuum cleaner. It works fine. Like if I had a specific problem and every time I used the vacuum cleaner, like the battery charge was only lasting for like 4 minutes and I had to go recharge it, or I was like, oh, this is not picking up things, or like if there was a specific problem with it, then it would be reasonable that I could consider replacing it and finding one that is better. But if I haven't thought that I had a problem with it, just because I see someone else rave about it doesn't mean that I need it. So that's another thing to remind yourself of. And also on the bulk buys, again, make sure you have the space and you don't end up just over bulk buying. Food, like taste can change. I've made the mistake before where I was really on a kick of, making, for example, Ninja Creamies, which I still love. I still make them. But I was on a specific kick with a specific protein powder. So I bought a bunch of it when it was on sale. And it was like a truly good sale. But I overbought. And that stuff doesn't say good forever. And it turns out that in some months I can eat it and tolerate it okay, and in other months it has some sugar alcohols that are a very, if you have a sensitive stomach, probably not the best idea. And so there's a lot of times when I'm in a flare where I can't really eat those. And so I got way too many. And I have to have now, it's kind of a pain because I always have to have 2 of the creamies in the freezer. I have to have one with the one that I can eat only if I'm in a good space with my gastro issues, and one when I'm flared up. So it's, anyway, don't do things like that. Like keep those kinds of things in mind. That said, I will talk a little bit about, once you know that, hey, this is what I need, maybe make a list. What is it you actually need and could actually use? And then ask yourself the question, like, what do I really want out of this? And like, for example, let's say that you really did want, I don't know, a game to play. If your family has a lot of games and you use every single one of those on the regular, and you want a new game, I think that's great. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But, if you realize it won't actually do that for you, then that's the time to say no to it. So, if you have made a list, you know what you need. I'm going to show you kind of some of my favorite products, and I did not make a specific list for Amazon Prime Day. So these are not all on sale. I didn't go and say, hey, what's on sale? I'm going to share with you what myself and my team actually has, loves, and uses on a regular basis. These are some of our personal favorites. So there is a link down below to my Amazon storefront. And I will go ahead and show you what that looks like. I know a lot of you are probably familiar with shopping on Amazon. You can do this on your phone or your computer, but shopping on Amazon through these storefronts. But these are things that I have personally put together. So first of all, if you're on my email list, you probably know that we have the 3 things we're loving section in our newsletter, which is super popular. This would be myself or some of my team members share their things as well. These are things that we've put in that section that we personally love. So you can click on that one, and then we have them also categorized. Some of these are also on the 3 things, some of them aren't, but miscellaneous, best pins, home items, kitchen items, family and kids, surprisingly useful items, baking items. These are some one-offs. Ninja Creamy, I love this thing. Seriously, love this thing. I use it all the time. Like, you can make protein ice cream with excellent macros. There's actually like legit good. And I'm very, very picky. Like, it needs to be good. Love these headphones. Like, one of my favorite purchases, I think of last year. This one. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. And this is like an example of I had an actual problem that needed solving. I think someone did share it online, but like I had all these devices. You can see there's like 3 iPads. There is a laptop. I'll open it up. I had like 3 items, or like all these items, and it was just such a mess, and they could like, there were all these cords, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, this solves a problem that I was actually having. And it absolutely did, because I actually had that problem and had a need for this device. So that is an example of when it is a wise purchase. And then you would click here to be able to buy the item. And this is kind of what I said about it. So I shared this, you can see a long time ago. This is a book, different things like that. And I'll go through these 3 things right quick, because these are some of my personal faves. Love this mixer. Like, I have raved and raved about this mixer. The one that I have is actually the predecessor to this one. I think this one just has a slightly cooler, cleaner look, but obviously I'm not going to replace mine just because there's one that looks nicer. Mine still works great. I think I got it a couple years ago. It is so much better than my KitchenAid. I mean, I had a KitchenAid, like a true KitchenAid, and I'd had it for probably 20 years and it broke. That's why I needed to replace it. And I was like, well, this one's much, much cheaper than a KitchenAid. I love it much more. First of all, it is lighter. It is lighter weight, and I want to put mine away. I hate leaving it out on the counter, so it's so easy to put away. Whereas the other KitchenAid was just a pain. And it's not quite as tall, so it fits on my pantry shelf. Also, the way that it tilts up, and it has a built-in shield, for which with KitchenAid you usually have to buy them separately, and they're a pain. Like, it just doesn't go on as well. So when I lift up, it's lifting up the shield, so it's still easy to scrape down the bowl. Just love this. I use it all the time. I'm a big baker. Love to bake, cook, all those kinds of things. So this is a big favorite. Oh, we did this puzzle recently. I loved it. It's probably one of my favorite puzzles ever. You can see that this Cookly mixer, that's a Prime Day deal. They'll say right here. So it's normally $170. It's only $133 right now. You can see that this one, there is no, like, that's just the regular price. So you could buy it. That's great, but it's the regular price. You'll see that this is obviously on Prime Day deal. That's not a surprise. The Kindles always are. I got Kindles for my kids. Love that. They can only read books. Like, they cannot browse web, watch videos. So you can also, in kids mode, it's not giving them access to the entire like Kindle library, much of which would not be appropriate for kids. It's only what's appropriate for them, which I love. Okay. Someone on my team put these on here. They look super cool. I was kind of tempted, but I didn't buy them because I'm like, I didn't have a specific need, but they look really cool. Amazon Echo. Tasha uses these a lot. We don't anymore. We used to, but I am using just my iPhone for everything and all the voice commands, so I don't find that I need it, but it's a really good price if you did. These I just got. This was another example of seeing something online that solved a problem that I had. On my nightstand, my watch charger would like every single time fall off the nightstand. Drove me nuts. And this is a perfect solution. It never falls off now because these little things, they open and you put your cord in it and then it won't slip back. These again, this is the cheap knockoff of those Open Run Shocks Pro headphones. Really cheap knockoff. The Open Runs, I think they're on a really good Prime Day deal. So if you've been eyeing those, I would get those on Prime Days. But they're even on sale. I think they're normally like $180. They're like $130. These are less than $30. right now. Normally it says 46 on sale for less than 27. I got these first to make sure I liked it. I did. I love it. I hate the feeling of something in my ear. I don't like something over my entire ear, so I can't really hear my environment, and it also makes my ear too hot. So these are absolutely perfect. And even these worked pretty well. I will say that Open Run Pro is better. The sound quality is a little better and it gets a little bit louder, but these were perfectly adequate. So if you are on a budget and you want those, I was shocked that I thought they would just be terrible. They were not. So that's something that I love. Oh, this apron. Okay, again, not on a Prime Day deal. Love this apron. Like, it's just an apron, but it like covers everything that I need to be covered. It's easy to put on. It's another favorite. This blender combo. Also, I want to mention that this is a good time if you're looking for something like this. Again, not if you like don't need it, but if you need it and you've been looking for it, shop around. Like Target has some deals, some other stores have some deals. So that could be where you could get it somewhere for a really good deal. This blender, it's an all-in-one. So it has a blender, then the little cup blender and the food processor all in one component. So it takes up less storage space. I have used this thing so much, and I love it. It's easy to wash. It's smaller. Ninja is one of my favorite brands. Like everything I've gotten from them, I have loved. Paper shredder, if you're in my paperless system and you're wanting to digitize papers, you're probably gonna need that. This one's a really good price. This is a surprisingly useful tool that lets you like read at night, and if someone else is in the room or the bed with you, you don't have to have like a light that's disturbing them. So that one's really cool. My son actually stole it from me because even though no one else is in his room, like he could have a light on, he doesn't really have like he would have to get out of bed to like turn on and off the light. He doesn't really have a lamp, so he likes to use this if he wants to read like before he goes to sleep. There's a lot of books on here that I love. The shoe washing thing is surprisingly useful. Like it's another thing that I didn't know that I wanted, but, I have a story about this shoe washing bag. I'm going to tell you this story because this is another good example of like where you don't want to go crazy, buying things that you don't actually need. So for the shoe washing bag, I saw it advertised, like it popped up on an ad. And I was like, that's really, really cool. Like, I think I want that. Yeah, like I could use that. But then I was like, when's the last time I washed shoes? Like, would I actually use it? So I wisely didn't buy it because I was like, no, like it looks really cool, but I rarely wash any kind of tennis shoes. Fast forward to like a couple weeks later, and I was in the park and I got mud all over my tennis shoes. And I was like, yeah, I think I would use that. So I waited until I actually needed it and knew I would use it. And then I went on to Amazon and ordered it, and it was there the next day. Did I have to wait like till the next day to wash them? Yes, I did. But it saved me from so many other purchases that sometimes those kinds of things are things that you will use, and sometimes you just would buy them and never use them. I'm sure I have examples of things like that. So I waited until I needed it. Now, if you are someone who already like, maybe you wash your shoes every month. I don't. I only wash them if they get like really dirty or muddy. But maybe you do that and you're like, oh, wow, this would be so much less of a pain, or it would keep them more protected. That would be like a wise purchase. But if you're like, I've never washed my shoes before, I've never needed to, then it probably would be less of a wise purchase. And I'll just go through a few more of these, my personal faves. This is the charging station I talked about. This thing, love this guy, and it is on sale. That's actually a pretty good price. I definitely paid more than that at Walmart when I bought it. It's $150. It's a lot. Like that's not a small amount of money, but it's pretty easy to use. It's not super heavy. It's portable. You put the cleaning solution and the water in it, and it will like wash upholstery, carpet cleaning, like spot cleaning. It also steams. It's one of the only one that steams. That's why I wanted it. I wanted the ability for it to steam and really, really clean things. And we have it's not a pure white, slightly off-white couch, but it is a white couch, y'all. And like some of it doesn't even come off. This thing, oh my goodness, it's amazing. I mean, it just like, even if we don't spill things on that couch, it's just like over time, the white gets dirty. Just people sitting on it with their jeans, and like there's always, and it looks almost new again when we use it. And it's kind of fun. Like I actually really love using it. So that's another big favorite of mine. These are the original, open run shocks that I was talking about. They are on sale for $125. That is a deal. They usually are a lot more. I think I paid $180. Like, I did pay that full price for them. So if that is something you want, that is something that is a true deal. I can tell you that for sure. This Habits of the Household, my favorite book of last year. One of my favorite books of all time. I love that. I'm rereading it again, and I rarely do that. It's basically about, how would I describe it? It's not what I expected from the cover or from the name. It's not at all what I expected, but it's basically how to point your family and your household to God. I would say, like, in a Christian value based. It's very, Christian based. But it does it in a way that is not very, like, it's very, is gentle the right word? Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it was one of my faves. I also love these Bentgo. Like, I use those all the time for meal prep. This skirt, wear it on repeat all summer because it's hot right now. And I don't want to wear like things that are really long. So that's another favorite of mine. Let's see. All-in-one charger. Air fryer, we use this all the time. That's actually a good price. We did pay the full $120 for this. But we use this all the time. And here's the Ninja Creamy regular. You'll see that it's up here. I thought it was up here. Maybe it's not. But it's a good time for Ninja products. A lot of those are on sale. So you can just see how, all sorts of things. These are just the things that we like all the time. And it'll tell you if it's on a Prime deal or if it's just, a regular price. And this goes back years. This is things that I've liked for many years. I love this pill sorter. People really like that when I shared about that. This is my favorite sunscreen. That's not like goopy. We need those these days. It is hot here in Indiana. Like, it has been a very hot summer. My 10, almost 11-year-old got her first sunburn ever this summer. She was not thrilled. I was like, yeah, that happens. So we're being super diligent with the sunscreen. It's just, yeah, it's easy to get burnt without really realizing it. Oh, I love these. These are not on sale though, but I love these games that look like books. That's one of my favorite purchases I think I've ever made. But they are not cheap. I actually found some at Home Goods, like associated with TJ Maxx, for like $15. It was amazing. So if you can find that, I don't know what the secret is because those kind of stores don't always have the same thing. I also use these microfiber cleaning cloths all the time. They're so cheap that if they get disgusting and you have to throw them away, you don't feel so bad. So anyway, those are just a few of the things that I personally use and love. If you're looking for things and you want to buy things that are, trusted, but again, let's make sure we don't add to our clutter and make wise purchasing decisions. So anyway, it has been fun to hang out with you all. I haven't recorded videos in quite a while, so but I will be back. We basically usually take a summer break from new videos. Just because everyone's really busy in the summer. I myself am with my kids, but we will definitely be back. We have a lot of fun stuff planned starting basically in August. But it's really fun. I feel like I've missed it. So it was fun to come on and chat with you all live, and I'll see you next time.